Hi everyone, this is Sasha, a third SaaS builder and one-time exit. So if you're new to the SaaS world and you're building your own SaaS right now, this video is likely for you. What you will get in this video is understand the power of feedback from user and how to get it, why you should likely build a feature board request. And also I will share my entire code base for that and a paid option if you just don't have the time. So let's get into the video. Okay, the first thing I want to share is you always hear like people saying, talk to your customer, get feedback early, ask them questions. But what I realized is it's not that simple. Um, in my previous SaaS, I was sending an automatic email, and I still do, to after one day of people signing up, get their feedback. So it's like a few questions like, okay, what could I improve? What was the only features that you're missing? What could make you, pay? This kind of question. And what I realized is I have very, very low response rate because likely most people don't care and don't have the time to go out of their way to explain to you what would they want and what is the product you should build. So instead of that, you need to be creative. And there's a few ways to do it. One way that I've seen a few stuff is in the app, in your studio or your dashboard. So for example, here in AI Tunnel, I didn't implement it yet, but I might do it. Here I could say, if you want more credit, answer this feedback survey or book a call with me and give like substantial credit. It should be like almost like 1 month free or something that people that are a bit hesitating will do the jump and they will book a call with you or they will answer your email. Otherwise, it's very hard. And if it's in the app in a strategic moment, like early in their process, it might work better than just sending an email that they might skip. So that's one idea that I've seen work and I might implement it here too. What I just did today, it's different, is a feedback request board. And why I decided to do that, it's because first, it took me only 3 to 4 hours talking to cursor and just building it. And it's, everything that you can hope for, I think is there. So you have, basically an upvote system or like system. And why you want that is because you want people to vote what should be the priority. I have only 3 columns to keep it simple. You want a shipped column so people see that you're, actively building and improving the product. You want a plan column to, show and tell the user what can they expect soon. So if they are missing something, they say, oh, it's gonna come in a week, maybe I'll check later. Another thing that's very cool is to give feedback, because I realize that, you're gonna get a ton of feature proposal and everyone has their own way to say it and they want something specific. But if you allow them to give feedback on specific features, they can kind of give you more detail and maybe you miss something or you misunderstood something. So I think it's very powerful to add this feature. Finally, you have the main component, which is propose a new feature. I also put like a bug or improvement. So, if it's an urgent bug or something that you didn't know, people can give you this feedback very easily. That's pretty much it. So I decided to build a feature request board. And I'm going to tell you the 3 top reasons why I think you should do it, and it's super important. First is you want your user or your customer to feel heard, to feel that, they are part of the product and they contribute to the product, they shape the product. And having that inside the app, they feel like, oh, I can communicate with the owner of the business. I can guide the way that I want the product to go. And I'm part of the journey of this product. So I think it's a very underestimated point. Second thing is you want transparency. You want to be an open book. You want to share as much as possible. And you want to give visibility, especially in the early stage where, some obvious features are not there yet. but you want to let them know that, yeah, it's planned. We're gonna do it, next week or in 2 weeks. And so to keep them engaged and to be a bit patient with you. So for example, in my case, the thumbnail history is obvious. I don't have like a great thumbnail history. It's only limited to your last 3 to 10, let's say. And a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't download my thumbnail, I want it. And it's obvious, I know it. And I want to tell them, okay, this is a priority. We're gonna do it. Please be patient, it's there. So that's the second thing, transparency and be forefront about what's going on. The third thing is staying organized. What I just realized in the last week after my launch is I received, an email there, a WhatsApp there, a ton of feedback from different users, and it's not centralized, and it's giving me a lot of headache to, okay, what's the common thing? What are the priority for which feature? And having one place where people can vote give you basically the priority on what to do. So I think it's a great way to organize yourself. It's like having your own Trello, but it's public, kind of an open source style contribution. And it's very useful for you and for the user. Okay, so now let me give you a quick rundown on how I built it inside my editor. So I'm using cursor.ai. If you're not familiar with that, you definitely should. It's like Windsurf as well. It's just basically an AI assistant here to help you generate code. So definitely use that. And the problem with Cursor is you kind of need to define your task very well. And the more specific and good you are at explaining what you want, your new feature, the better it's going to be to build it, which is obvious. So usually my flow is I go to ChatGPT and I kind of talk back and forth with it to define the scope of my feature as detailed and as precise as I want. So for example, here I said, okay, please help me write the task for Cursor to create in my app a Trello style menu so the user can upvote feature to help me with prioritization and then also give feedback for my next feature. It should be a very simple interface. So it starts, defining the task, the goal, the UI requirement and functionality and some tech stuff. And I edit like how many columns make sense. And it tell me like, okay, those 3 columns make sense. I agree. So you propose a 4. I say, okay, update to make it clear those 3 columns are that what I need. And I go back and forth. Okay, I use Superbase and Shadesy and Svelte. And so once I have all my precise defined task, then I go to Cursor and I tell him, okay, please do that. And that's what he came up with, one big component with a feature card, a few call to my database, a few SQL migration for Superbase. Now let me share with you a quick rundown on the architecture of this feature request dashboard in our database. So I use Superbase, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The first table I use is called user votes. I save the user ID and the feature ID. The way I do that is because I want them to show the like or not like based on the user ID. So if I remove, for example, my like here, I go back, it will delete this one. If I refresh, I have the main table, which is a feature table with the title, the description, a status, the number of votes, and I added a type, which is, new feature, improvement, or bug. And as soon as someone adds a new task, it's gonna show up here, testing this feature under review. And then I can decide to, let's say, put it to planned. And if I do that, I go here, I refresh my page, and you can see new test here. So that's all pretty simple. The last table I have is the feedback table, which link a feedback to a feature. And that's all. The last thing I wanted to share with you is this product from a Twitter guy that I follow. And I do recommend it. I bought it for my previous SaaS. It's basically everything you can imagine for a feature request dashboard. In 2-minute setup, you can integrate it in your app. and it's very good. Really like the guy, so I do recommend it. You can start for free. And yeah, that's my shout out for the day. If you like this video, please give a like and subscribe, or comment below. We can interact like that. I hope it was useful, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.